Hi everyone, how are we? Consoh Kijo here. This is Inspire YG. Inspire YG. Now YG is an acronym for young generation. So my name is Consoh Kijo, and I pop on here once a week. All things remaining constant in my life if there's nothing else disrupting my life. So I pop in here and I share some of the opportunities that I've had along the journey of an international student. So a bit of a background about myself. If it's the first time popping in here, thank you. And thank you so much for the people who've always shown me support, who've always been here on this channel, and we are learning together and moving together. So for the ones who, for you yourself, popping in here for the first time or running onto my video for the first time, my name is Consoh Kijo and I'm originally from Kenya, East Africa. I moved to Sydney, Australia specifically for studies a couple of years ago, and I was an international student studying social work. So I do have a background in business and marketing as well. However, my major was social work with minor or more units on psychology and sociology. So I've got passion on anything to do with advocacy, anything to do with social justice, equality, equity, and all and things along those lines. And so I'm currently practicing as diversity therapist is what I've done before. That's also something I have a background in, but that's not what I'm currently doing. What I'm currently doing is I'm in the D&I space, which is diversity and inclusion. Still in the same on the same line of all the things I've talked about. They are so much related. So that's me in a nutshell. I pop in here once in a while and I talk about my journey because I feel like I'm just an ordinary girl who've just had extraordinary opportunities or just ventures or just interesting and great doors opening themselves for myself when I was a student. And I felt like I think I ought to share that because I feel like majority of the time there's that feeling of when you come to a new country, especially like coming to a country like Australia. Australia is very far from majority of countries, especially from where I come from. So a lot of people don't quite know what's in store, especially if they don't have any friends or family. They're coming here for the first time. It can be a very daunting experience to start with. But I think especially if it's something that you're passionate about or it's something that you really want to do and it's your desire, then I believe there's nothing that can be so hard to deter you from actually pursuing that which makes you move from your country to Australia. And so that was my journey, and I've done a couple of videos talking about some of those experiences. For example, experiences of a new migrant in Australia, experiences of my life at uni, places that I traveled because I really took advantage of opportunities to be able to travel because it's something that I love. And sometimes as a student, people feel I'm just going to go to uni, I'm just going to go to lectures and tutorials, and really I don't have time to have fun. But I feel like if you do that as a student, I feel like you miss out. You miss out on a lot of networking, meeting new friends, connecting with people who might even connect you to some of your destiny in the future, like some of the places you've wanted to go or places you wanted to be, people you've wanted to engage in, discussions you've wanted to have. All those things are not, most of the time, unfortunately, in the classrooms. You're going to find them outside. And so I found value in actually not just studying. I loved studying. That's why I came to study. But in the extracurricular activities and volunteering is where I found most of the extracurricular activities. And so this video is about that. It's about me talking about my volunteering journey and everything else that I did in between my studies during the period where I was an international student. So I will share a couple of points. I've got 7 points and a bit of stories because I love storytelling on that journey of volunteering and where it got me and where it has gotten me this far. See you shortly. welcome again. Thank you so much for sticking around and popping in here to spend this time with me. I don't take it for granted. I know there's so many things you could have chosen to watch, but you chose to listen to my story. So I don't take it lightly. So thank you so much. And if you know anybody who is, especially a young person, a uni or in college, and they're probably feeling overwhelmed with studies and bored and maybe not finding time to connect and network with friends and things like that, share with them this video. I will share a couple of my experiences, and I think they're valuable, and I think they open a lot of doors for me to even make friends. So my first volunteering experience in Australia was actually at a nursing home. So Australia does have a system, and I'm going to elaborate a little bit about my understanding of nursing home, or not what nursing homes are, because coming from Kenya, I didn't know so much about nursing homes. So basically, a lot of countries in the West do have facilities where people, seniors who are not in a capacity to live by themselves, are taken. Maybe it could be on their own merit, or by their own liking, or by their friends, by their family, because maybe they need more high care, they have more high care needs, and they need 24-hour or 24/7 support. And so there are nursing homes, and not just Australia, it's in a lot of countries in the West. So there's so many opportunities within the aged care and nursing home space, and some of those opportunities are obviously, that's a place where people are taken care of clinically, but also their whole holistic well-being. So you're looking at nurses, you're looking at doctors, physio, dietitians, you're looking at occupational therapists, social workers, lifestyle therapists, lifestyle coordinators, lifestyle officers, and that's just not the whole list. There's a lot of opportunities that are there, working in even pastoral care, working in aged care space. So I volunteered in nursing home that wasn't so far away from where I lived at the time, and it was one of my engagement project that I did at uni. So it was, I don't actually remember the actual subject, but it required us to have some kind of community engagement. And so I went there in person, and I gave the coordinator my resume, and I said I would actually love to volunteer for an extensive period of time, for a specific period of time. And that's what I did. So I used to get up every morning, go there, spend time with them. We used to do so much stuff. I think I got some pictures, and I'll put some pictures up here on how we used to do baking. So that was a lot of fun. And just connecting with the seniors, I have a very high regard for seniors, and I really appreciate their company. I don't know. I think I'm an old soul. I don't know. Anybody who is 70 years and above can be my friend in a heartbeat. I just don't know. I love that cohort. I love that group of people. They have so much experience. They've obviously seen so much in life, and there's so much to learn from that group of people. So I really appreciated that experience. My second volunteering experience was at the Sydney Airport International Student Welcome Desk. So I'm looking down, in case you're wondering. I am engaging. I'm just looking at my notes. So the welcome desk, the International Student Welcome Desk, was actually a New South Wales government state initiative, and it was such a brilliant initiative. Like, I was like, when I heard about it, I literally just applied. So normally, majority of these volunteer opportunities, if I didn't go and knock doors myself, I talked to someone and I voiced some of the things that I'm aspiring or I'm desiring, and they had opportunities they shared, or I saw an advertisement either on my uni email or on the notice board. And so this is one of those opportunities that were actually advertised at uni, and I actually just applied. So basically, we had a training session that happened at the airport, Sydney Airport, and I don't remember if I think it was a full day training, and the premier was there as well. And so after that training, you give out, like, there was a timesheet where you actually said what's your availability. So there were morning shifts, and afternoon and evening shifts. So basically the shifts were determined by the duration when at the airport they have so many flights coming in Sydney. And so early morning you had a lot of international students jetting in early in the morning or late in the evenings. So I would take up morning shifts, and majority of the time I actually took up evening shifts. So the evening shifts went up to almost 10 p.m. or something, because I remember I used to get home almost midnight. But it was so much fun, and what I learned from there, obviously a lot of networking opportunities, and it's nice because it's not something that was there when I came in as an international student. And I've done a video of how my journey was coming to Australia. I really got lost at the airport. And so even wanting to volunteer for this opportunity, it was more because it's an opportunity I wished someone had given me, and so it was an honor for me to give it to another student. So basically what we did at the desk, I think I have some pictures that I'll put here. We had some white shirts, would actually show t-shirts that would show an international student coming through that, oh, I can go and ask for help on that desk. And it could be anything, like your phone could be off, you can reach the person coming to pick you up, or you don't know where you're going, or you're not sure where your uni is. Those kind of nitty-gritty, the needs you might have, or the support that you might have when you're going to a new country and you just jetted. You just arrived and you don't know anybody, or it's just chaotic because there's so many people. So it was such a brilliant opportunity. I felt like I still appreciate the person who came up with the idea. And then we received a certificate of participation, which was something great also for my resume. It's nice for, I would talk about how I find in Australia, especially in the job market, in the job area, a lot of managers do appreciate to see that someone has actually engaged in volunteer work or some sort of community engagement, or helping out, or just doing something extra, as opposed to just presenting your papers with just credentials. So I think I've had so many opportunities, even job opportunities, because of volunteering. So the third volunteering venture that I did was with CISA. So CISA is a Council of International Students Australia, which was a peak body that actually advocated for international student issues, and it was across the country. So CISA was an interesting one because, like I said, starting this video, one of my passions is actually social justice and advocating for people, especially people who don't have a voice. And I feel like international students are sometimes, some international student could be some of those people who don't have a voice, and it can be because of many things. There's a problem where a lot of international students actually connect every single entity with the immigration. And so it feels like if you're going to complain about something that happened at uni, something that happens at work, something that happens to you, an injustice that happens to you, there's a feeling, there's that, it's almost an unspoken thing where unless you really learn or go through an experience and actually know it's not true, people connect every entity with the immigration. So you feel like if I do something wrong at uni, or if I do something wrong in the streets or at my workplace, they're going to call immigration, my visa will be cancelled, which is not the case. It's really not. So we used to find a lot of students who actually have pressing issues and they wouldn't speak up. And so with this peak body, it was actually a good space, safe space for international students to actually meet and talk about the issues that they were going through, and also invite other stakeholders, or just stakeholders, anybody who had an interest in international student world used to come to those conferences, and they used to happen once a year. So I did get a scholarship with them because of that volunteering, and which was exciting because I I got a chance to go to Canberra, sponsored by my university at the time, ACU, and then I got a scholarship from CISA, and I went to Cairns, Cairns is in Queensland. Yeah, so that was also another opportunity, great networking, meeting new people from all over the world, really, because international students in Australia from all over the world, and just great. I still have and cherish those friends because I still have them today. So CISA is one thing that I would recommend because it doesn't matter which state you're in. Even though I was in New South Wales, CISA cuts across the board. It caters. It used to. Now I need to find out. When I'm editing this video, I'll find out whether CISA is still effective. But it used to be across the country, and it didn't matter. Whatever you studied, you could actually access CISA services. So, and it was student-led and student initiated, which was even more fun and more relatable. So CISA opened so many doors for me because that volunteering actually got me receiving an award from Celebrate African Australians in New South Wales, and I got support, and I got a lot of support from my uni as well. It was in affiliation with some scholarships I had received around that time from the Vice Chancellor of Australian Catholic University. There she is, amazing. So, and the whole international student office at North Sydney, they're also very supportive. And so it was really great. From just that volunteering experience, it opened up doors for so many other things, not scholarships, traveling to Italy and just meeting the Vice Chancellor in person. And it was just a great opportunity overall. So I'll put some pictures as I go so that you can see what I'm explaining. So the other opportunity, the fourth volunteering opportunity I did was I got nominated by Australian Catholic University as New South Wales Police had a program, and the program was on enhancing the well-being, security and well-being of international students in New South Wales. And so I was chosen as one of the ambassadors. And what we did was we went to a place called Richmond. They have a police leadership center there, and we stayed there for 2 days. It was such a beautiful experience, learning so much about what the New South Wales Police did, and especially in the cohort of protecting and enhancing the well-being of international students. I was really grateful for that opportunity, and obviously made great connections, made great networks, great friends that we are still friends today. Like the retired Lieutenant Gavin. So it was an amazing opportunity, and I was really grateful for that as well. Interchange wasn't, I don't know whether I would call it volunteering, but it was an opportunity that I engaged in when I was at uni. Really great, but we got to discuss a lot of issues that international students were going through, and so it was a program that brought international students from different universities. I think there was 8 different universities across New South Wales, and we met every week. I think it was over a course of 1 month, and it was actually like a competition because they chose students from different universities and put them in one group, and then you had to discuss a project or a program that you could start that could actually enhance the lives of community. And so majority of people used to talk about projects that could support international students. And so it was a great opportunity, and I really loved that because it also gave me a lot of connections. Made lots of friends from that, networking, and so forth. So the sixth volunteering opportunity I had was a public speaking engagement. I was invited as a panelist at a workshop organized by Hunter African Community Council, which was in a place called Newcastle. It's about 2 hours from Sydney. And so it was just amazing, just spending my day talking about my journey as an international student, and obviously I'm an immigrant myself, but speaking to young people who are of immigrant background but born in Australia. So it could be like first generation born in Australia, maybe the parents are born overseas, but they were just inspirational young people, and I'm still in contact with some of them doing great things. Some of them have won awards, gone to other countries to do major amazing stuff. So just amazing networking. Everywhere I have volunteered, everywhere I have engaged, I have come out with a friend, a lifelong friend, and I've come out in that space with a lot of knowledge and a lot of learning. So the seventh and maybe the last volunteering experience I had was at Bangkok in Thailand. So I'll give a bit about a background of how this happened. So going to CISA, Council of International Students Australia, I met someone there who had a background, had actually attended the organization. The event was called University Scholars Leadership Symposium. So because of that network, I actually applied to be one of the delegates, and I was actually selected. And when I received this, I'll put a screenshot here of the email I received. I was out of this one, I was so excited, and it's mainly because I've always loved what the United Nations do. It doesn't matter whether it's United Nations Women or just whatever they do, I just love it. So being invited to the 9th University Scholars Leadership Symposium at the United Nations in Thailand, it was just surreal. It was so surreal. It was just so amazing. I remember just meeting delegates. I think we were at a thousand and something and some change, young people from all over the world. When I say all over the world, that's what I mean. And the whole place was filled up. It was just, I still live and breathe that moment right now. I've got some images that I'll share on how we got to take some pictures of the stage, after the sessions, and meeting lovely people. Just made a lot of networking opportunities, made friends from all over the world: Cameroon, South Africa, Indonesia, Zambia, New Zealand, Thailand. It was just amazing. I still have so many of those friends. We still connect on social media and check on each other. It's just volunteering experiences it's almost like you put yourself in a back burner and you see other people and then you serve other people. But whatever comes out of that, it's so fulfilling to the soul. I don't know how I can explain it. It's almost like a tangible feeling, but no, it's not a tangible feeling. So it's hard to, I don't know, to make you feel it. But it's if you have volunteered, I'm sure you know what I mean. We got an opportunity to volunteer in one of the missions organized by the United Nations, the USLS, the scholarship symposium team. And so we actually went to visit a group of kids who were actually stateless. So they had migrated from a country, I think it was a war-torn country, and they were stateless because they had not been accepted yet in the country. So I learned a lot from those kids, and what I remember is the smiles on their faces, how welcoming they were, how great they were connecting with us, but knowing that they lived every day knowing that they were stateless. And I couldn't imagine try to be empathic and put myself in their shoes, and couldn't imagine how they had so much wit and just enthusiastic and just happy. So those opportunities taught me a lot. Also taught me a lot about gratitude, because sometimes we take it for granted. Like I could have taken it for granted that I'm in Australia, that even though I was not Australian citizen, I still had the Kenyan passport and I could travel. And but it's not something these kids could have done. So it's one of those things. This reminds me that I've forgotten one more volunteering opportunity that I did in Italy, Rome. So when I went there for, it wasn't an exchange program. It was one unit that I studied in our Rome campus. And I think the Vice Chancellor's team had organized for us to have a volunteering opportunity. So we went and visited an organization that helped immigrants in Rome, and majority of them were from Romania. And then we visited some of them who actually sleep in rough and sleeping on the streets, sleeping in churches, cathedrals, and it was just It was hard, however, being around them and seeing how positive they were, even though language was a barrier, we really just connected with those people, gave them lots of stuff. I remember we were giving them things like hoodies and blankets because it was winter and it was very cold, and Pope Francis had opened, just ordered for the churches to be open for them to actually sleep in there. So that's also another moment, humbling moment, volunteering moment, almost like a mission in the middle of being at uni. But it's just in a nutshell showing you, sharing with you or anybody who is desiring to be an international student, that it shouldn't just be all boring. I know like life is tough, and especially if you're an international student in Sydney, it's even tougher because cost of living is very high, and obviously unis are high. There are no concession like travel concessions and things like that, which was some of those things we used to advocate when I was at the Council of International Students in Australia. It was hard because some other states do actually have travel concessions. Like I think if you study in Canberra or Brisbane, you do get a travel concession ticket because of being a student. But if you're a student in Sydney, you'll have to pay an adult fee. So life can be a bit expensive, and so a lot of students in Sydney just work, and then just go to uni, go to uni, and there's no life in between. But I am sharing my journey to say that even though it's hard, it's possible. If I did it, I do not have any powers that you do not have. I do believe that it's just a bit of prioritization, just planning yourself, plan your time, plan your day, and then pursue that which you want. And I feel like networking opportunities are so much intertwined with volunteering, especially when you're an international student. So that's just my journey. It will look very different stated by someone else because we all don't have a passion in the same things. But my experience volunteering as an international student, I know that it created so many opportunities for me. So coming up shortly, or in the maybe next week, is some great news. My next major project in a foundation. On a foundation that I'm starting that is already doing great things in Kenya. I will do a video and talk more about that, and also have a link to my website where I would really appreciate if you could connect with me on that website, and even joining my and communicating with me also on the foundation's email for any opportunities you might want to link with me or connect with me or sponsor or support in any way. It doesn't matter. Every single one of you are welcome to actually join and support. So thank you so much. I hope this wasn't a very long video. I really hope to inspire an international student out there who is probably feeling like life is boring, to know that there's so many other things that you can do to make it more fun. So thank you so much for popping in. I really appreciate it. And if you don't mind, and if you don't mind subscribing, please do, especially if what I've shared today resonates with you. And please share this video with a student that you know. If they don't have to be an international student, volunteering is something that can be done by anybody, anywhere in the world. So until the next one, thank you so much for popping in. Thank you for watching. God bless. Bye.